from there, I held every, office position, and eventually became president, co-president with my friend Lil Cohen. We both held those positions for years, 2 years, I think. And after that, I've just continued on, taking whatever chairs were necessary to be taken. And this year I'm doing Sadaka with my friend Lil Cohen.
And Hadassah has taken up a good part of my life.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for it because it came along at the right time for me. When I became a widow, and
That's it.
Ethel and Lil Cohen, who are part of this little entourage, were presidents, co-presidents, and they kind of pulled me along, and I've been thankful for that.
I can't remember, but I think I went to the first board meeting or something. I went to the first meeting and someone needed to take minutes, and there it was, the beginning of the end. And I've been active ever since with the group.
I can't believe that I am the chronological age that I am. I can't believe it. Sometimes I look it, sometimes I don't. At least I think so. And how do I feel? I'm not so happy about it. The golden years some days are rather rusty. And I wish I was 60 and I could have a longer time perhaps to see my children's lives be on a steady course. And I don't really have any serious physical problems. I do take some meds, although I play around with them. I should be more diligent, but I'm the doctor's mother, and I know what to do.
It makes me feel terrible that I'm the oldest living person.
But how inspirational you are.
Well, I hope so.
Oh, my goal. You want to know my goal?
Yeah.
My goal is to be alive to see my two youngest grandsons bar mitzvahs.
Oh, boy.
But I'm hoping, since I have so many of my own, that will create a new dynasty.
And I keep busy. I have my children are close by, and I'm but I'm quite involved in their lives, maybe more than they want.
Well, my biggest challenge is financial.
My challenges are getting too overwhelming. If I physically remain in good shape, and the mind stays clear, my challenges will be to continue being a very active person. I have nothing else that I want. I don't want to ever have to be a burden to my children. My challenge is that, hey, I have a house, I have animals, I'm happy, I have a car, can still drive, enough money to go and do what I want to do. I used to think challenging was which country could I go to next, because I loved traveling. And it's been many years since I've seen a lot of the things. I've seen almost all the wonders of the world. I found a swim group at the YMCA. And it's over 20 years now. And twice a week I go for exer-swim, which is not for older people, by the way. I'm probably one of the oldest in the group.
Yes, in a typical day, I get up in the morning. I usually go to the gym. I have a swimming aerobics. And I go there 3-4 times a week.
I still do some private tutoring. And I work with 2 boys from one family. And this keeps my mind very alert. And I feel like I'm, still doing something worthwhile.
Every time I go somewhere,
I had Mrs. Medina, and she was the greatest teacher I ever had. Blah, 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 blah. And which is it's wonderful. I haven't been, and I can say, and I will want this on the tape, that I taught 3,000. My daughter figured I taught 3,000 kids, and there's not one that I can say I disliked.
We have a Hadassah group called Educators Council, which is comprised of people who are either in the educational or social work fields.
And I got involved with the JCCs, teaching short stories to seniors, and I've been doing it really more or less ever since.
Oh, well, first, I'm most proud of my family. I'm really, really, really proud.
We know that. We know that. We know every time they've broken a toe.
Well,
Which
because
is good.
I just think that that Hashem has blessed us with wonderful children and grandchildren. I mean,
and I get a vicarious thrill from you. I really do. I can shut her up when she talks too much.
Each and every one is
think
accomplished and lovely.
Lovely.
I don't think any of them ever gave their parents any real cause for, aggravation. I mean, they were normal kids, but they didn't, I don't think anybody got deeply into any kind of terrible trouble. So I hope not. They don't tell me if they did.
Well, you do brag about them.
Well, I can't help
Yes,
it.
But they are very outstanding.
I was 80. I had 45 women and a couple of men.
Yeah, that was a neat party.
At Yitzi, whatever, because I said to my kids, now you don't have to come to my funeral because you've met everybody. But that was more important to me to do it and to thank all these. They were from different parts of my life, and it is very important to celebrate life.
I had a Bubby who, and I was extremely close to her, my mother's mother. She died when I was like 12, so it was a shame because I adored her, and she was sick for 4 years before that in bed. When I was a little girl, I would go to see her in shul, and she'd be sitting there with the women praying on Yom Kippur, and she would say, I have something for you. And in her big skirt that she was wearing, she pulls out a banana for me when I came to her at shul. And I thought, after the years, and I never forgot it. I was a little kid, and I thought to myself, the religion was important, but the little girl, her one granddaughter, was more important. I should be fed.
I think if your mind is alert and your body goes along with that, and you have wonderful people surrounding you, that's wonderful, and that's what it's all about. And a wonderful family, friends, and you know what? That's what it's all about.
How do you, as friends, support each other?
Hello, right?
Yeah.
Telephone call. Singing, we see each other a lot.
No one can figure out this license plate, but it has a story. When my little granddaughter was born, I called to the house and I said to my grandson, I'd like to talk to the boss. So he said, Jessa, who was 3 months old at the time, your bubbiness is calling. And I thought it was so cute that I made a license plate.
I pushed this back for some reason, and now I can't get around. I'm going to leave it. I better move it up because I'm having some company. Anyway, and also it's right near the train, which was great for me. I'm driving the neighborhood. It's a necessity, and I'm very careful. And people hate me because I'm careful. I get everything. I never liked to drive when I was normal. Some people love to drive and some people don't love to drive. I know. I put up a good front, but I am very envious of everybody here who has their children here and their grandchildren here.
Yeah, it's something.
Because I have 12 grandchildren, 10 in Israel, 2 in Columbus, great-grandchild. I'm comforted by the fact that when I'm there, I have some girlfriends who tell me I see my grandchildren more than they see theirs because
hear
and
them.
I see them in depth. Because when I'm there, I make a specific, it's a hard chore, well, with the Army now as they've grown up, but I've made a specific goal to take each of them out for a day at least by myself.
Oh, this doggie is a rescue, and this doggie was in horrible shape when I got her. And fortunately, I got her last November, so she was about 8.5 years old. And she had very little hair, and she would bite everybody, and she was awful. And now she's very sweet. She really is. And she grew hair. I think that people should stop worrying about what they can't have and enjoy what they do have.
I mean, it's impossible to live without having terrible tragedies. And I learned that from my mother. See, my mother really was my inspiration. When you have terrible, two things can happen. You can either overcome it, put a smile on your face, and go forward. Or it can overcome you, and you can go down and the rest of your life is ruined.
Follow your dreams. Try to put them into fulfillment. And try to see the brighter side, even when there's an unhappy side.
I just want to live and be well and do nice things for my kids, for charities, for all the good causes.
Baruch
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakianu v'kiyanu v'higyanu l'zman hazeh.
Blessed art thou, O Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sustained us in light and enabled us to reach this season. Amen.
Just like
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Barek peri hagafen.
I think that the idea that growing older is
It's not so terrible.
It's not so terrible. It's that we have a contribution to make to society and to ourselves. And it ain't so bad. Getting older is challenging. It's a frustration. But I think the longer we live, I think it's a blessing for all of us.
Chaim, delights in life.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind when you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams. And life gets more exciting with each passing day. Love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at